Crashbang here. We're back and we've got results. This right here, that block of leaves looks different than the rest of these birch leaves, which means this is pollinated. So I actually got some results. It looks like the problem I was having was I was using trees that were not compatible with the bees mod and trying to use them like they were compatible. So shame on me, but I've got that going there. So let's go get some bronze. I want to find out what that sapling is. Maybe grow a little bit of it. Let me in. Okay, get some bronze over here. Getting a little low on bronze. Gonna have to make some more of that stuff. And sticks. Actually, let's make 2 of these. I'll probably use both of them up eventually anyway. Okay, and put some bronze back. Oh, that sound you hear is from my quarry. Technically, it's just a mining turtle. It's not a full quarry like what you would see in Feed the Beast. Haven't made one of those yet. Still relying on the mining turtle coming back to a chest, which is using gold piping to pipe stuff up here. And as you can see, cobblestone, gravel, and dirt get thrown into lava because I have more than enough of all of those. I don't need any more barrels full of them. And other good stuff goes into here, but anything I've found so far, silver, tin, iron, and copper, these things can be macerated and then smelted. Those go directly into the macerator and then directly into an electric furnace, so that all I gotta do is go and get those resources when I need them. I don't have to do any work for that anymore, except for, you know, keeping the mining turtle fueled, which is somewhat problematic, but not too bad. When I eventually do make a quarry, I'll have that problem solved. So let's see what this is. Now, if I didn't use a grafter on this block here, there's a chance I would still get a sapling, but I have a 100% chance of getting a sapling if I use a grafter. And what do I have? I have a common beech sapling. So it's not a birch tree, it's a common beech tree. And I will plant that over here somewhere. I already have a bunch of trees growing though. Do I have a free I can put it here. I'll put it over here. And I have no idea how big the leaves are. So I'm gonna take these out on either side, just to be on the safe side, just so I have as many of these as I can get. And when that grows, because that is a tree that will have been created through cross-pollination, every block of leaves on that I hit will get me a sapling. Similar to these apple oak saplings, I only started off with 1, and I grew 1 tree. I used a grafter on it, and pow, got a lot. Also, previous recording, I said, wow, I'm surprised these aren't going down in durability. Apparently they go down in durability when you hit blocks that will get you a sapling from these cross-pollinated trees. They don't go down any other time. So if I take this against a non-pollinated block of leaves from any tree that hasn't been crossbred, it'll just last forever. It'll be like punching them. Okay, so I thought I'd share that little tidbit. I'm going to look for more cross-pollinated leaves that I can take out with my grafter, and I will see you around. And we're back again because I wanted to show you something really cool. One of my trees that I got, the common beech sapling, I put it in the treealizer, and apparently it can get you nuts. So I can use those nuts to make seed oil, which, yes, I was making seed oil using other means already, but this is a tree that will get me nuts that I can use to make seed oil, so that's kind of cool. I also have a red spruce sapling, which doesn't seem to be as useful, but I look forward to cross-pollinating this with other trees to see what I can get. So those are my 2 new trees so far. I'm going to plant those and Maybe I'll scrounge up some bone meal to make them grow really fast. They're both 1x1 trees, I believe. So that'll be beneficial. So just thought I'd give a little update, and I'll see you again in a little bit. And we are back. Welcome back to Crashbang's workshop. And I am standing on top of something that will eventually, hopefully, maybe, be an automated tree farm. But Crash, you might say, you already have a tree farm over there. Yes, but I have to go and cut down all those trees manually. And this should do it automatically. And if I do it right, I'll be able to take the resources from this farm and have them pumped directly back into my workshop building over there. Have the saplings go into the biomass generator to create more biomass, and well, actually it's called a fermenter, isn't it? But it'll go into that to create more biomass, and the apples, if I plant apple trees over here, will go into the squeezer to produce apple juice to go with the other part of the reaction for making biomass. And the wood will probably I'm probably going to set up some type of system where it gets put into a furnace, gets turned into charcoal, and then have that be used to power this. But I'm not entirely sure about that yet. I might just run piping over from my biomass system over here. The sun's going down, so I might as well come in. Lots and lots of flowers. I didn't plant most of these. The bees, as they do their wonderful magic, not real magic, but you get the idea, spread flowers everywhere. So as far as I see flowers, that's as far as I know that they will cross-pollinate trees, which is kind of cool. Okay, so let's go down here. Since my last recording, I believe, yeah, I didn't have this set up this way last time. I've gone back to using a squeezer to manage this because I managed to get a lot more apples. Mulch is building up. I've got more mulch than I can really do anything with, so I'm just holding on to that. Right now I'm keeping it in the hopper. It doesn't go down by itself, but that's fine. These trees, apparently trees can have their own separate genomes the same way that bees can. So if they don't match in genome, they don't stack, which can be a bit of a problem. I'm getting a lot of stacks of 1 and 2. I'm probably going to take all those little mini stacks and throw them in here and pick my largest one and just keep planting that over and over again, just to keep storage capacity at a maximum. I've added a second biogas engine, and I'll probably add a couple more in a row along here, just to help give myself a little more power, because I'm slowly gaining more and more stuff. I'm building more and more stuff that requires the use of various engines, and it's going to be a pain if I always have to keep connecting and disconnecting stuff. I've got plenty of biomass, as you can see here. I've got biomass to spare, and if I get that tree farm up and running, well, then I'll just be able to make as much as I need without having to worry about anything. A little bit of this stuff goes a long way, apparently, so that'll work out. And if each engine is powered separately, then I'll be able to just turn on what I need, and I won't have to worry about using more fuel than I need. The only problem I've had so far is if I log out or whatever and I just leave the engine running, I come back in and find out I have no fuel at all, and I have to jumpstart everything again with a squeezer and making seed oil, and that's a big pain. So I've got to take care of that so that I don't have to worry about that anymore. Probably increasing my fuel capacity to the point where it's just not going to run out in the amount of time between when I log in and when I log off, since I'm not the only person on the server, and these chunks will stay active. Okay, that sound you hear, that is a wonderful sound of cobblestone being thrown into lava, because I don't need that much cobblestone anymore. But first I'm going to take a nap so it's daylight before I show you what I've been working on. And we're back. Okay, so let's take a look. Oh, that's my to-do list. Some things I haven't worked on yet. I've taken a lot of stuff off of this. I finished my enchanting table, so I've got that going. I have not been able to make a walnut tree yet. Apparently you can breed them, but I haven't managed to do that yet. I haven't bothered with potions, so I've been to the nether, but I haven't gone very far. Mob grinder, ooh, that we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Automate apple farm, that is my next to-do item, so we'll be working on that. Twilight Forest, I have not gone to the Twilight Forest yet. I'd sort of like to do that with friends. And wands, well, that's Thaumcraft, and I need to do more research with that, but that's been on the back burner as I work on everything else. So let's go down this way. Oh, before I do, let me in. There we go. I made a new table. This is like a crafting table. I think I've shown these off before. This is called a work table, and what you can do, you put the recipe in here, however you want things to be arranged. You have storage space down here to put various items, and then I can just click here, and it pulls the items out of the inventory down here. So it makes things very easy to just, I'm just going to shift click, and there we go. I've got 13 nether brick blocks, which I can use in my automated farm because that's not done yet. And whatever's left over is still down here. I'm not going to get rid of this recipe. I'm going to leave it in here because I need to go and get more of these anyway. I'll just throw the bricks in here and I'm good to go. I don't need to worry about rearranging everything. So I'll probably eventually be replacing all of my workbenches that are, or crafting tables rather, that are all around the farm, and just replace them with work tables because they make things a lot easier. They have their own built-in storage. It just makes things more streamlined, which is good since I've got so many other things I'm working on. Over here, the bee farm has been working wonderfully. I've got a bunch of busy bees in here, and oh, there's a diligent drone going through right now, and some imperial bees. Imperial bees are the I forget the exact name of that particular family of bees, but they're the highest level ones that you can get in that family, and I've got a bunch of them. Mostly drones, obviously, because that's what bees do in this game. You have a zero-sum game with princesses and queens, but the drones just keep spreading. So I've got all these apiarist chests, which are actually very easy to make. Let me just go in. Where are we? Okay, apiarist chest. So if you are at the stage where you're actually getting a lot of bees, all you need is 5 honeycomb of any kind, and a chest and a piece of glass, and you get yourself an apiarist chest, which is 5 pages worth of storage space. So that's pretty cool. So each of these is 5 pages worth. For a lot of them, I've just been sorting them to be a single species. For example, all my extra imperial drones I've been putting in this one, because I have a feeling that I'm not the only person on the server that's going to want to be raising bees, so I can give them imperial drones right off the bat to help jumpstart their farms, which is pretty cool. And they've been cross-pollinating like mad. I've got these hill cherries, which are pretty cool. I really like this tree. I like the color of the wood. I like the fact that they drop cherries also. I might actually... I might have my automated farm making cherry trees along with the apple trees, but I haven't decided yet. But now I'm trying on a couple more trees that you can get specifically from crossbreeding hill cherry and jungle trees rather, and we'll see how that goes. I'm not entirely sure I've got any good results yet. A lot of the leaves in the hill cherry tree end up looking different, and I'm like, oh, I can graft that off. It's gonna drop a sapling, and it does drop a sapling because if you use a grafter on a hill cherry tree, you will always get a sapling since it's one of the specially bred ones. But I think those dots there are specifically, those are the blocks of leaves that have cherries in them. So that's all I've been getting off of those. Hopefully I'm going to get some more special trees off of the jungle tree leaves, because it looks like all of the hill cherries, all of their leaves look different. just have cherries in them, which, I like cherries. In game, at least. That's kind of nice, but I'd kind of like to get some more variety in the trees that I have available. And you can make an apiarist chest also. I've got 2 of those over here because I know I'm going to end up with a lot more saplings. Not all kinds of trees will go in here. So like these birch saplings, I'm shift clicking on it and it's not going in the apiarist chest, but the various ones that you can get through cross-pollination will go in here. So like I've got apple oak in here. Silver birch is pretty much just birch saplings that have been put through a treealizer, which isn't too hard to make. You can make that in a carpenter, which fortunately I had to build to make the beehives. But there you go. And you can see I've got like partial stacks where I'm probably going to end up taking the partial stacks and putting them into my biomass generation system into my fermenter, just to get rid of them and give them a use. Now over here is my wonderful farm where it's not done yet. Obviously, it has nothing connected to it, but most of these blocks are. Let's take one off to show you. Okay, so farm blocks are fairly easy to make. Let's take a look at this. Assuming I press the right key. Okay, so I've got all these different farm blocks, and they all these different farm blocks do the same thing. It's just they're made out of different material. So where here it's got stone bricks in a block, if I put nether brick, it does the same thing. It's just it has nether brick texture pack going around it instead of a stone brick texture pack. The hardest part about this is making the tin electron tube, which you can make in a carpenter, I believe. Actually, no, not a carpenter. You make it in a thermionic fabricator, which I made one of those. You melt down glass or sand into liquid glass. You set up your pattern. You will have storage space underneath the same way as the workshop table. So you throw all your spare parts in there, and as power gets pumped into it from, let's say, a biogas engine, which is what I already have running, it melts the stuff down, and then you can take as many tin electron tubes out as you need. Now, you actually also need, where is it? I think the farm control. Yeah, that requires a golden electron tube also. So I have a bunch of those to spare because you really only, I think, need one farm control. But each of these does something different. The majority of a farm is made out of the regular farm blocks. So that's what most of this is. But you do need one of each of these other things. One to pipe in water, or you can just right click the interface and use buckets to fill this up, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to make a water pump to pull stuff directly into here to make things easier. One for the output of various products that you have, like seedlings and apples and wood. A control block for processing stuff, and there was something else. Oh, something to pipe in the appetite, I think, the fertilizer. I need to do more research on this. I've been researching it as I built it. I know I've put stuff together correctly so far. Obviously, I've got some gaps yet that I need to fill in, but I'm still working on where to put the next piece. And I may have actually built this too far away from my house because I'm going to need to make a lot of... I'm either going to need to set up a separate engine over here, which won't be incredibly fun. I might just go with solar power and get an electric engine or two going, just because that'll be, I guess, more convenient, and I won't have to run as many wires back and forth. I already know I'm going to have to run piping back over there for transporting stuff. But if I can cut the amount of piping I need to do in half, that'd be very, very beneficial. I lost my train of thought there. But in any case, here we are so far, and all of these blocks that have nether brick on them will end up with dirt blocks on top, and they'll be growing trees, which will be pretty cool. And the sun's going down, but let's see how far we can go. Scaffolding. I love scaffolding. I'm not going to demonstrate how cool... actually, I will demonstrate how cool scaffolding is. I can speak. I really can. Just not right now. Okay, so scaffolding works like a ladder, so I can go down it just like a ladder. I can, if I take out the bottom block, the whole thing falls down. Sort of like if you take the bottom block out of actual scaffolding, I just hope no one's on top of it. Now, if I right-click to place a block, well, that's normal. But if I left-click that bottom block, it builds up. So if I use these up here, there we go, and it goes all the way back up. So it's a great way to climb up in an area where maybe you would otherwise have to place blocks by looking down and jumping. You don't have to do that anymore, and it's made harvesting stuff from trees so much easier to have a bunch of scaffolding pre-made. So I should probably at some point take this gold tubing and have it run directly across this mine, because I finished off going in one direction as far as I wanted to go, and now I've got to go around this way. And this uses more gold piping than it should really need to use to go around this long way. But, you know, oh well, I had it. Now I'm low on gold, but I had it. Okay, so... So over here we have my turtle, which I should probably move it over to the next spot to take care of that. I'm not going to do that right now while I'm recording. But it's been mining out 15 by 15 big chunks of space and getting all the resources out of them, which is pretty cool. And I keep trying to drown myself, apparently. Oh, more scaffolding over here. This is what I wanted to show you. This is what I wanted to come down to the mine for. In my adventure, I found out that this cave was just over here, because the turtle dug out part of it. And I'm so glad it missed the coolest part of this cave, which is right over here, and it took a bit of work to get to this point. Oh. Okay, well, we're sealed in. The spider can't get to me. We have a dungeon, and there were a couple chests in here. Nothing really to write home about for what was in the chests, but that's okay, because what I'm really interested in is this skeleton spawner, because I'm going to dig down below here and set up a mob grinder specifically for skeletons, because when you're farming a lot of stuff, when you're trying to crossbreed trees and everything, you go through a lot of bone meal, and now I have a way to get pretty much infinite bone meal that's going to be very beneficial. I'm really looking forward to getting that set up. But first, I'm going to finish automating my tree farm, and I'm going to need to do a little more research on that, and when we come back, hopefully that'll be done and I will have something to show for my efforts. So, I'm going to end the recording. Have fun. See you in the next episode.